Today we're going to check out this three-way smart switch from Martin Jerry. It's a smart dimmer switch. I know a lot of people have been looking for a smart switch that was a three-way and it did dimming. We did a previous video on another smart switch, but it didn't do dimming, but it did three-way. So in the box, of course, you get two regular Decora faceplates. They are your bright white faceplates. They're screwless. They are your regular Decora size, so they will fit in a 2 or 3 gang as well, because the switch themselves has the regular screw holes, plus it has the screws for the regular Decora faceplate. So if you wanted to put these next to some other type of switches, you can without having to modify the switches. You get two switches. One of them is the primary, one is the secondary. But on the primary, as you can tell, you get more wires than you would a regular smart switch. Of course, you get your ground. You will need your neutral in the box. Of course, you get your live, and then you've got your two travelers here. This one looks similar, except you only get the ground and the two travelers. From the front, they do look the same. You've got your on-off button here, and you got your on-off button here, and you've also got your rocker up and down on each one, plus you have your indicators which will show the dimming level. And you may not notice it, but there's a little button here at the bottom. That's the reboot button, that if for some reason the switch is stuck or whatnot, you can just push this button and reboot the switch without having to go toggle the breaker. So let's get this wired up in a three-way configuration as shown in their support document, and get it attached to the Tuya Smart Life app, and let's check it out. Now that we have the switch wired up in a three-way configuration as shown in their support document on their website, which, to go over it real quick, the hot actually comes in to the first master switch here on the left. The typical three-way configurations I've seen is the power will come into one box, and then will go across to the other box across the room. Then the light is attached to the secondary box. As you can see in their documentation, they show the hot coming on the left. It goes into the primary switch, goes across, goes into the secondary switch, and then on to the light. In which I will have a simple circuit tester so that we have both legs connected, and I have a lamp with a single dimming LED bulb. One thing to note, there is on the bottom of the primary, there's a little dial on the bottom, and this will set the range of your bulb to, if it goes too low, you may get flickering on some of your bulbs, all the various LED bulbs. It's a nice little feature. You can adjust it to set it exactly to the bulbs that you have in your home. So first thing we need to do is we need to pair this up with the Smart Life Tuya app. So whether you have Android or you have iOS, go to your app store and search for Tuya Smart and install the app, and then open it and register your account and get into the main screen of the Tuya Smart app. Now one thing to note is you need to be on the 2.4 gigahertz side of your router. If not, if you have the same SSID, if you don't know how to get onto the other side of your Wi-Fi or just to one, you can add this in using what they call AP mode, which if you follow in the screen, it'll show you how to exactly set this up using AP mode. So first thing you'll want to do on the primary switch is you'll want to hold down the on and off button for 5 seconds. And you should start to see a fast blinking on the LED, which may be hard to see on the camera here. So on the phone, we'll hit plus at the top, and we'll go to Smart Lighting and Lighting Devices. It's going to ask about it confirming the light blinks rapidly. Go ahead and hit the button. It's going to ask for your Wi-Fi password. So put in your Wi-Fi password, and then you'll hit confirm. So once you have your Wi-Fi password in, hit confirm. It's going to go to connecting. And it's successfully added. Hit completed. And now you should see the controls for the Martin Jerry dimmer. So we can turn it off, turn it on. We'll change the brightness. pretty smooth brightness. If you go to setting, there is an option here. You can select your type of lamp, and you'll choose whether you have a LED, the CFL, or incandescent. We're using the LED, and you can set a minimum brightness that if you still have an issue with your bulb flickering, you can kind of lock it where it won't go below a certain brightness. That way it will stop the bulb from flickering. You can also, inside the app, of course, you can set the schedules, etc., all in the app itself. So that's it for the app. Works easy, paired up fine. Let's check out the switches. So turn the lighting down in the room and lock the exposure on the camera so we can see the dimming of the actual bulb and without the camera auto adjusting. And this allows us to see the LEDs a little better as well. So this is the primary switch and this is the secondary switch. So we'll try to turn it on. Of course, we do get it turned on. The LED lights up blue. You can see it lights up blue on both of them. And you get the indication of the dimming level on the primary. So you should be able to hold, you keep pressing, and you will get the brightness turned up using the rocker. You get a few steps in there. And let's go to the three-way. You can turn it off from there, turn it on from there, no problem. And they'll stay in sync. The lights light up blue whenever the switch is turned on. And go to the secondary, and you will notice that when I push the rocker, this light blinks blue, showing it's sending over the dimming. And it dims just the same when I push the rocker on the secondary switch. You can see it changes the dimming level on the primary. So that's it. It's great. It's a three-way dimming switch. You got your primary, you got your secondary, and let's check it out in Home Assistant right quick using the Tuya component. So in Home Assistant, if you haven't already added it, there's a great Tuya component. It is cloud polling, so it's not local control, but it's very simple to configure, and it uses all the various Tuya devices. And I'll leave a link to the component listed in the Home Assistant. And currently supports climate, cover, fan, etc. It's very simple to configure. All you need to add in your configuration YAML is these lines here. And you'll change your username that you use to sign up for your account. It may possibly also be your phone number, depending on how you sign up for the account. Then your password, and then your country code. And you'll use the country codes, like here's one for USA, and they also leave a link if you don't know what your country code is, if you want to look up your country code. And once you do that, you'll need to save your file and restart Home Assistant. So once you've added your configuration and restarted your Home Assistant, you may have to go in with Lovelace and add under the unused entities on the top right and add your various Tuya switches and devices that you have. Once you add that to your UI, you should get the switch, and you can control it just like you would any other switch. Toggle it off. You can toggle it on. You can change the brightness, all using the GUI. Also, of course, in Home Assistant, if you had any voice control devices set up, you could use voice control to turn these lights on and off or set the brightness. So we'll try and turn it off here. And due to the cloud, you will see a delay if you go to turn it off and for it to update into Home Assistant. It's like we just turned that on, and yet we don't see it inside the GUI yet, even though the light is on. So due to the polling of the cloud, it does take a little longer to show the update into Home Assistant itself. As you can see, it just triggered. So there you have it. There's the Martin Jerry three-way dimmer switch. Currently, there's no other one on the market that'll do a smart switch, dimming, and a three-way configuration There are some Z-Wave products, of course, that you can use that'll have the dimmer on one side, but then you've got a regular dumb switch on the other side. But this one has the dimming on both sides. That's one advantage of it. Some of you may know in the past I've had issues due to interference in my area with Z-Wave, and it hasn't always been as reliable for me, so that's why I've gone the route of the Wi-Fi and MQTT devices. So all in all, that's it. But wait, aren't you going to open this thing up and put Tasmodo on it? Unfortunately, no. There's no ESP8266 inside. I was hoping that maybe since they decided not to do the ESP8266, that maybe they had gone the route of getting the ESP32. Then we could have put ESP Home on it. We couldn't have put Tasmodo on it, but at least we could have put a custom firmware with local MQTT control and get rid of the cloud, right? Well, no, there's not that type of processor on this one. So keep that in mind, that if you do get this switch, at this time, you're going to have to keep it in the cloud, which it does work okay in using the Tuya component inside Home Assistant. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We're not going to be breaking these open, and we're not going to be figuring out how to put Tasmodo on them. We won't be using the Tuya Convert app, etc. So if you need a three-way dimming solution in your home that works on Wi-Fi, this is it. Until something else comes along. I'll leave a link to this product in the video description below. Thanks for watching. Definitely become a subscriber if you're not. Hit the bell icon and make sure you get a notification for our next video and possibly some of our future live streams. So keep an eye out for that. And y'all take care.